Sorry we're a little bit late.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, roll call please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Here.
Mr. Vick?
Here.
Mr. Burnham?
Here.
Mr. Spencer?
Here.
Mr. Parker?
Here.
Mr. Niemeyer is currently absent. Mr. Gowitz is currently absent. Mr. Smith is absent. Mr. Salatas?
Present.
Mr. Austin?
Present.
Ms. Bamberg? Present. Ms. Abernathy? Present.
Thank you, ma'am, and we'll note Connie's absent with notice. Appreciate her being here, but she had to run. First, we have Alex here. Sir,
Hi.
come on forward.
All right. How are you today?
Good, yourself?
Doing fine.
You know, if Randy was here, he'd say he was really disappointed that any food had
There's
come
no
to you.
pizza?
But he's
I
not
didn't
here.
know if I should bring it or not. You know, I thought about it.
People would think it's pay to play then.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. You know.
bring it.
I'm happy to buy it anytime. You guys
Go to the car and get it.
anytime.
Hey, sir, we appreciate you coming out this evening.
Thank
So
you.
we started probably about a year and a half ago. We realized that there's a lot of great folks here in town that either A, are investing new significant sums of money into town, or have spent a lot of past sums of money, time, and investment in the town. So we realized that we should start publicly acknowledging these folks and do what we can to publicly promote them and thank them for operating their businesses here in town. And at our last month's meeting, Aurelio's was nominated. So we want to thank you. I know that I have frequented your drive-through and your location many times.
Well, thank you for that.
We'll-
Much appreciated.
We'll continue to do so.
Thank you.
I was told over the weekend that you guys changed your cheese recently, but then I tasted it and I said, I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
No, you know, our cheese, it's a living thing, and it's
Cheese literally is a living.
yeah. I mean, it evolves, and we're in the cows are transitioning from grain to grass with the season changing. So the cheese this time of year does fluctuate.
Okay.
From week to week, honestly. You know, it's still made in really small batches just for us. So it can be a little challenging to work with because it's not the same thing week in, week out, but it still should have all the flavor, just look a little different.
Yeah, no, it was dynamite.
Awesome. Great.
So,
Great.
no, we're happy to have you in town. We want to extend a formal thank you on behalf of the commission. Thank you guys, and I know you employ a lot of folks in town
Sure.
as well, and that's awesome to see every time I stop in.
Well, let me just say, we're happy to be here. I mean, it's been pretty much a pleasure since day one. You know, it was a great opportunity for not only our family, but I think, you know, to see, I think we got in just in the nick of time, you know, before things started to really evolve and develop and blow up in town, and we're grateful we had the opportunity to do it, and we're thankful to be there, and you know, we're grateful to see the town grow, and you know, I've got a little daughter, and she loves it out this way. You know, we do the farmers market, that's really exploded, so, you know, we're happy to do it, happy to see everything growing, and thank you so much for the invitation, and thanks for the nomination, thanks for the support, and anything we can do to support you guys in return, and you know, my door's always open.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
We appreciate
always,
that.
always.
You also the one in Creighton too, right?
Yeah, that's family, okay. You know, the family owns a bulk of the Aurelios, you know, in the Illinois and Indiana area. You know, it's been a generational thing passed down through the family, so it's good. They've done well with it.
They also contribute to the community too. Really.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My father-in-law is very, very active at the Crete location and the community there, so just trying to follow in his footsteps, I guess. You know, inspiration, right?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I said it at closing with Joe last year.
Okay.
It was a great closing. Interesting.
Yeah. Very good.
Yep.
Very good.
Anything else from the commission?
How's the challenges of employees? You know,
So since we've opened here, you know, I mean, the job market right now is, I mean, I'm sure you guys discussed it. It's challenging. Labor market's challenging, especially for what we're looking for: wait staff, service staff, you know, high school educated, you know, stuff like that. People basically without a diploma, you know, it's nationwide, and it's always been a struggle, I feel like, in this town a little bit, ever since we've opened, to sort of get people in the door, and it's even harder now, but, you know, thankfully, I've got a really good core group of people that have been with us, some since day one, and some for the past, you know, 2 to 3 years that have really just sort of developed and helped bring in other staff, you know, word of mouth. That's been my best. That's been our, without a doubt, our best, you know, forget Indeed, forget Facebook, forget, you know, ZipRecruiter, all that other stuff, word of mouth, that's how we get people. But it's a challenge, and I see some of these newer businesses, you know, that coming into town. I wish them the best of luck, because I tell you, it is a struggle to get people out here, and we, to this day, still can't get fully operational, you know, for lunch in the dining room like we used to, you know, pre-COVID and everything, so hopefully we'll get there again one day, but as of right now, it's, you know, we just take it day by day and do the best we can. We're fortunate. We don't have to close, you know, any days of the week like some businesses have to. They just don't have enough staff to do it, so, you know, that's one thing I wish there was more, you know, more of a labor market in Cedar Lake, but it's just, this is a family town, and most of these people have jobs, and they're not looking for a job in addition to what they have already, so, you know, that's that. But it's, the employees I do get are pretty good kids. They're good kids, and we got some good folks, some really good folks that work there, so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, I just read a notice from Round the Clock, I think, in Valparaiso, that they are going out of business, not being made, or they just can't get the people.
Yeah, they can't get the people.
Oh, they're gonna have a development there too.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't want to hold politics when I play with that, because that place has been around, I mean, pretty much forever. And I do, you read these stories every few days within the region. I feel like it's kind of a situation where people just decide to, some of the people that have been in the game for a long time, they're just kind of like, okay, it's time to hang the coat up. They can't sell it. No one in the family wants to take it over, and they're just sort of sick of dealing with it, you know?
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm young enough still to where, you know, whatever we don't have, I fill in. That's just what we do.
I hear Family Dollar doesn't open up till 11.
What's that?
Family Dollar doesn't open up till 11.
I know, it's the
They
things
don't have
that
any
you see,
employees.
you know? I know everyone in town is challenged. Some of our, you know, the people that work there are very well connected in town and know a lot of people and know people who know people, and I hear the same stories from absolutely everybody. It's a challenge out here. Lowell, Cedar Lake, even St. John. It's terrible. And, you know, it's a shame that the people that used to rely on working for summer, you know, high school students, whatever it may be, for a summer job, college students home, they just don't even care at this point right now to do it. So we'll see where things end up.
Well, sir, please pass along to the family and to your employees our appreciation for their mighty fine work, and we look forward to continuing to enjoy the fruits of their labor.
Thank you very much. Thank
We've
you
got
guys
a
for...
certificate here for you. You want to pass that along?
I will.
We want to do a picture, guys, here, or?
Would like a picture if you guys are able to.
Gotta do the
What are you guys
picture.
doing?
We do it right down here. We'll come
Okay.
join you. Join you for post-COVID now, so we can get close. We'll back her up. We got a great backdrop here.
Beautiful.
All right, sir.
Yeah, see, I've never seen him deliver pizza though. I am not a regular.
Well,
I have a pizza, you guys pretty much.
It's good for you.
It's the new health program.
Oh, my wife is allergic to it.
Oh.
That is me.
I've delivered your pizza before.
Oh.
Yeah, on nights where guys have called off,
I live in Havenwood.
Havenwood, yep, never failed.
I know I gotta be the
There you
only one for that.
Yeah,
Everyone ready?
sauce on the side.
1, 2, 3, pizza.
Pizza.
Again.
All right,
All
got a
right,
couple
sir.
good
Thank
ones
you
for
very much.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Sausage and garlic. And onions.
Sausage, onions, and then try a little jalapeno and just a little pineapple. Ooh, it's really, really good.
He's just trying to get me for 2 extra toppings.
So for one.
Alex told me.
All right.
Consent agenda, we've got approval of March 21, 2022 meeting minutes and claims fund 404 in the amount of $1,034.50 and 804 in the amount of $8,102.39. I will entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
All right, we've got the bi-weekly or monthly printing of our newsletter. We've got legal fees, we've got Christopher Burke, we've got Veritas Group, and we've got Cronin Associates. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Vick?
Yes, passes 4-0. Moving along to new business, Explore Everyday Community Recognition Nomination. Do we have any suggestions?
Well, this is nice that we've got this list here now, so we
We can't forget.
can't forget.
Yeah,
And
Doug, though, wasn't that, I remember, I thought you said there was 2 last month. I can't recall what the other one was.
Oh, another one that.
Yeah, I thought we had Aurelio's and you had another one, but we went with Aurelio's.
Right, but I think Bob had made the suggestion of using the pizza palace, right, Bob? They are still in business, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Supposedly the best Italian pizza palace.
That's what people say on Facebook.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to do that one, or do you want to space out the pizza places? I'd suggest the library, but
The library.
They don't have good pizza.
You wanna do pizza?
they don't. They don't. Well, we still haven't been served pizza yet, so why do we?
For the way that businesses are, should we say, opening up now, restaurants, now it's getting into more and more Mexican restaurants coming in town here.
Yeah, we're losing pizzas. They wanted to change their name to Pizza Indiana. And now we're losing pizzas and getting, Mexican restaurants.
Or we can just wait. What's the pleasure of the commission?
La Gaviola, I believe that's the name, I'm pronouncing that right, would be the Mexican restaurant that I would, because they have been established in here the longest, at least lately the longest, right? They came in 6, 7 years ago?
Yeah, right on the main drag with the grocery store.
At the grocery store?
And it's got a restaurant in the back.
And
Yeah.
a restaurant in the back, right?
Well, then I guess, why don't we go that route?
There we
That's a
go.
good one.
You wanna make a motion for that, Doug?
I'll make a motion to nominate La Gaviola.
And I will second that.
Roll call?
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Vick?
Yes. All right, passes 4-0. Very good. Scott,
Yes, sir.
how are you, sir?
I'm well.
It is good to see you.
You too.
How are things going at the school board?
Well, unfortunately, Connie had to leave, so she can't give you any school updates, but I'd be happy to answer any questions if you guys had them about that.
King Drive going well? Well, forward.
Sure.
Everything's good there with the new intersection?
Mm-hmm.
That's good?
Yeah.
Good, good.
As you guys know, AV shot up again for a second year consecutively.
Mhm.
So we're very happy to say that with the $79 million referendum that got passed, we were $1.29 where we were originally. After the referendum, we went to $1.31, and now we're dropping down like $1.20.
Okay.
So we're getting additions to the buildings, we're getting a brand new school,
Mhm.
new bus barn, new admin building, and we're able to do that and lower taxes. So who can't be proud of that?
That's awesome. Good. Good stuff. Good update.
So I'm sure that's what Connie was gonna share with you, with us lowering tax rates for once, so that's a good thing.
Good deal. No, I appreciate that update. But that's not the reason you're here.
No,
Fire away, sir.
I am here for the facade grant. This is something we wanted to look into the summer of last year, but I know funds had, already had been allocated, and so we were, told to hold off until we were able to present again. And so here I am. It's really very simple on my part, and it's really easy. We want to do the grind and pave, put a new lot in, do some exterior painting, and replace the shutters at phase 41. So that's pretty cut and dry as far as the improvements go. Obviously, everything that's going to be, viewed by the public, and, we're in my opinion, an essential location. Out of my office window, I see the Welcome to Cedar Lake sign, so I'm happy to answer any questions.
And what business is this? I'm sorry, we didn't even mention that, did we?
Oh, no, I have the Berdan Funeral Home on 41.
Okay.
Across from Goodfellas.
And that's why we had all these pictures of Berdan here, and I didn't,
Yeah.
That's why those are there, sir, yes.
Got it.
In case you had any questions about the improvements that we were looking at.
Yeah.
What is your anticipated timeline that you would like for these improvements?
This is something, really my whole up has been to be able to present to you. So, this is something that I could, call the contractors tomorrow and say, when can we start? I'm ready to go.
Okay. So here is,
What's your total for everything? Am I missing that?
65, wasn't it?
For everything,
Yeah.
I think the lot was 65, we were.
I see that.
In the,
That's through St. John Paving, which is local, that's good.
72,915.
Tennis Sons is doing 8.
yeah, Tenant Sons was the difference.
Right here.
9:15.
Oh, I only got the
72,915.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So 72, 950.
Yeah.
And I know, some people like to get multiple bids. I'm in agreement with you. I want to keep it as local as possible. So I thought, Han and St. John, that's as local as we're going to get to keep the money in the community.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission? So one thing, Scott, that we've been discussing on our end, and it just came up this evening, we were taking a look at our financials, and we have set aside monies for this year. The question becomes, for future distributions for funds, we've been advised to take a brief timeout for the next 2 months
Okay.
while we get in some finals, specifically on the Lake Eco Restoration Project because of Mr. Putin. Hopefully I don't face retribution for that comment. The cost for the Eco Restoration Project to get the bond went up about $300,000. We secured as quickly as possible, but that's an added cost that was not anticipated. Because of that, they want us to hold off on expenses that aren't planned until we get our next draw from taxes, which is going to be in June. So
Okay.
really, we have kind of two options this evening.
End of June, yeah.
End of June. One would be to perhaps, and I'm just talking a lot here, issue approval, let's say we have to wait for distribution. Contingent. Or two would be to say, table it, you're our primary facade grant this year, and we will hopefully grant approval in July. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, because I think I'm the one that probably encouraged you a year ago to say, Scott, you should come in here.
Well, the thing is, I know we can't move forward with anything without approval. Right? So, obviously, I want to get going on this stuff too. However, I am at your mercy. So, if you said, Scott, we look good, go ahead, because you can't do anything without approval anyway. So if you have that, then I can start lining these things up. If the reimbursement is later, okay, so be it. If you tell me, you advise me, no, we want to wait until June, then I will wait until June.
What's the pleasure of the commission?
I definitely think it'd be prudent to wait until June until we get that in there. It looks as though you got everything here that we've been kind of pushing for to make sure everybody's got covered, cross all the T's and dot the I's as far as what the job is and what you're doing here. It looks as though you've got everything in here. But that you haven't been presented this to the building commissioner and what have you, that for approval?
No,
Right,
because
that hasn't been right.
we're not changing anything. We're not adding anything, we're just
Restoration.
giving it a
Yeah, so
facelift.
permit, there is no, so to do, I don't think you have to get a building permit to change out
No,
to
huh?
grind your parking lot,
Only if we were gonna expand
to
it,
expand it.
yeah.
That's like,
Parking lots of doors
you
here.
know, like replacing your driveway, your house,
Yeah, the doors, there isn't replacement, it's all exterior painting, light poles, exterior paint. The only replacement is just the shutters.
but, I mean, there is no building permit.
Yeah, that's not required, yeah.
So the chunk of the money is the parking lot there.
Oh, by far.
So
That's
Matt-
gotten insane.
Doug, math-wise, did you come up with like 14 grand?
I came up with exactly that, 14 something or whatever, put it in there already. Was figuring it out. That would be at 20%,
Right.
right? I just scribbled it on the paper too, let's see. But yeah,
So what are you thinking, to wait to,
14,583.
what was it?
14,583. I didn't play with the 10 cents at the end there, but 14,583. That's what I came up with real quick.
So are you thinking to wait to approve, or to approve and say distribution in July, or what is your thought?
I guess I'm thinking that why don't we wait until, and then approve it and distribution. Of course, he doesn't get the money doesn't come until the invoices are coming from the company that you have to pay them, right? So,
See, that's, what I'd like to do for a business perspective is to say, we can approve it so he can lock in his rate with, especially the asphalt contracts. If we wait 3
Yeah, I mean,
months, then we tell you it's
if he
approved.
calls St. John Paving and says, hey, I'm approved, are they gonna be out there in the next week to do it? I don't know.
Probably not.
I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
how busy Mike is, I don't know. So, I mean, that's the basis of it. So, I mean, we're gonna delay, make him pay something more, when we're gonna give him the fund, give him that port of money anyways.
If we go ahead and approve it, and then he goes ahead and gets it taken care of or whatever, that works, and everything all works out, that's great. If he goes, and then all of a sudden, we start getting a money crunch here,
Then we don't have the money for him.
yeah.
That's why I asked what the potential was for the reconciliation for November, and we really don't, because of pruning properties, we don't know what that's gonna be, or if it's gonna be.
Could do it to say it'll be reimbursed by the end of the year, but that's a long time to wait. But it's a confirmation that there will be reimbursement by the end of the year, and then we'd have our December draw in.
Well, your December draw doesn't come till the very tail end of December, so you wouldn't be making any disbursements from that December settlement
Until January.
until January of '23. You will get your spring settlement by June 30th.
But that's all accounted for.
And otherwise, we'd be dipping in a trust Indiana, our rainy day fund.
So unfortunately, it sounds like we have to wait.
Unfortunately, I really like taking care of the, I should say, long-time established businesses in town. I kind of like that we can do something like that for them.
So it sounds like we're in favor of approving our traditional approximate 20%. The question of this is, we don't know when we'll be able to offer up that reimbursement.
Having to deal with government funding, so I know exactly what you guys are talking about. I completely appreciate the situation that you're in. I think we both want the same thing. I want to get going. You guys want me to?
Yeah.
I have to pay these bills regardless,
Right.
and then apply for reimbursement. The deadline or the date of the reimbursement is really somewhat inconsequential to me, as much as the approval to say, yeah, Scott, move forward. If that helps at all.
I think we could bifurcate, and we could approve an amount, and then say, time period to be distributed will be at our July meeting. That way, he's got confirmation on his end that, yes, I am gonna get reimbursement of a certain amount to move forward. He just doesn't know when we're gonna reimburse him, and we'll make a commitment at our July meeting as to when we will reimburse, whether it's this year or January of next year.
Yeah?
That work?
He's good, I don't know why we wouldn't be good.
Doing that?
I totally am.
I'm fine with that, yeah.
We're not going any more over 20%, we're doing what we said we tried out to start in the beginning.
So we'll entertain a motion then to approve the sum of $14,583 towards the project in its submitted form, with time period for distribution to be determined at our July RDC meeting.
So moved. Excellent.
Yep, second. Ms. Abernathy, we captured that?
Who seconded it?
Doug?
So I'll second that, yeah.
Discussion?
Okay.
Roll call?
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Vick?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, thank you for listening to me.
Hey, thank you for coming in, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Okay.
All right. Next is approval to disperse monies to Summer Winds Plaza for contribution of public improvements. For Mr. Parker's edification benefit, Summer Winds Plaza, when it was put in and thereafter there was an agreement that we would reimburse approximately $200,000 of public improvements to public infrastructure.
I remember something about that.
Okay, amortized over a 7-year time period. That time period has come. We have this conversation in lieu of the conversation we just had with Scott regarding how finances are tight. My suggestion would be this is a previous commitment that we had made. I think it's approximately $15,000 that would be owed right now.
That would be for this year, the entirety of this year.
For this
Half.
spring, that's half, so it's approximately $30,000 over the course of the year. My suggestion would be that we apportion $10,000 and do a true up after, again, the first, the first disbursement, yeah, that we get from county. That would be showing you good faith, it's something we've made a commitment to, it's not everything, and we're still holding back some, and we're being prudent with our monies here.
When it was agreed upon.
Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion? All right, so Ms. Abernathy, that's $10,000 with the true up to occur at our July, meeting. If we can put that on the agenda, that'd be great. All right, roll call?
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Vick?
Yes. All right, number 4, approval of Attorney Austin's hood loss damages invoice. So this action began way back in 2017 as we were enlarging the roadway in front of that gas station. Suddenly, I remember the phone call, they came across contamination. Immediately we had to remove it, bring engineers on site, and there were significant costs as to contamination that was not anticipated with the expansion of the roadway. A lawsuit has been brought against that property owner. Mr. Austin's firm has been vigorously pursuing them for 5 years now.
No, actually since 2014.
Is it dating back that long?
Yes.
I thought it was no longer than that. Yeah.
It is.
Okay. They have incurred
Long time.
approximately $20,000 in legal fees. We have asked for an invoice, to their credit, they have not submitted one. We recently have collected $10,000. We anticipate hopefully now being able to tap into the state fund and collecting more. Mr. Austin has asked if we would consider swapping this to a contingency invoice. My recommendation is that we do that. I am cautiously optimistic that we will be able to recuperate a significant amount of more money, perhaps $80,000 or $90,000 at that point. And would we collect that, that would adequately reflect then the amount of time that his firm has put in, plus a little bit of interest for him acting as the bank for the last 5 years. So it's my recommendation that we accept a contingency fee basis for this lawsuit and remit to him $3,333.33 out of the recently collected amount of $10,000.
I will make a motion for $3,333.33.
I'll second.
Discussion?
No discussion.
Roll call?
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Vick?
Yes. Thank you, Dave. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Jen, I'm trying. Clerk Treasurer's Fund Report. What you got for us?
The updated reports are in your packet. Well, I mean, it's the one fund, but as I explained a little bit ago, I kind of simplified it just so you can see what you've already committed to, as well as what we need to set aside for debt service already in place. That's the 2017 refunding bonds, the recent 2022 ecosystem lease rental bonds. I'm drawing a blank. Oh, the 2020 refunding bonds as well. The 2013 portion of it. So that one will be moving to 100% of special benefits tax, so then you only have the two that you need to commit the debt service on, but we do need to have that set aside into the appropriate funds, so that we can make those debt service payments. So I made the appropriate transfers this morning, into each respective fund, and then, on the one sheet I was explaining to you just a little bit ago, shows, May through July, total transfers that I will need to make for each debt service. And then as we get the June distribution, as we go into the last few months of the year, then I'll update it again for you to show you, what those transfers are. I can't make it complete year transfers in full, because then it would make your funds go into negative, so I like the monthly transfers. That way you guys, each month as we come back here, you can see what is moving where appropriately.
Okay.
If you have any questions for me,
I do.
or I also have Sue on if you need anything.
So with the remaining specific grants that we have for those three payments, those are accounted for, right? We have the money, that money is already deducted from the balance, so we are,
Yeah, if you look at,
all three are on there? On this page, I assume these three are?
yes, and then I also put it on right here for you.
Okay.
Because this is the current cash balance as of today, so that's your remaining from 20, and that's your remaining from 21. So this
And those
was
will
one,
equal,
and that was two.
and those equal that?
I'm assuming so, without doing the math right now, but this one is not my put-together report. This,
Yeah,
I believe,
it is.
Margaret keeps that one up
63.
to date.
Yeah, 63 it is, the three, they're outstanding. Good. Hey, Sue, do you watch the Discovery Channel?
The Discovery Channel, huh?
No, they've got a lot of good Gold Rush programs on there right now, it's what we need. Any thoughts, Sue, on your end?
Oh, no, hey, well, there's some things that, we're looking at, the process, David, Austin and Corby with Chrome, we're looking at, getting rid of or eliminating, parcels that drag on the TIF. So, and we don't know how to estimate that at this time until we see it. So that is hopeful. You would think that if AV goes up, you would necessarily get more here. That's not necessarily the case because you're spreading your requirement over a larger base, so it may just stay pretty steady. But I will say that you're getting a heck of a lot done with what we've done. Keep in mind your ecosystem debt, it is a hit right now, but it's because of the way that you build up your own reserve of next year's payment in this year. And so basically you've got payments due in August of this year, and you've got payments due in February of next year, which are considered your 2022 year. Understand, you have to do that now, and it wasn't in your budget. It wasn't even we didn't have the numbers when we did the 22 budget. So that is a hit, but I think you'll see a lot of activity. Plus, we also have, we did hold your funding for the Parish Avenue project on the CCMG to only $15,000 more than what was estimated, even with some of the increases. And we apportioned the rest of that, the CCMG projects across all of the different funds of the town that could handle it. So I think we've done, and working with Jen and Chris, and talking it over with David and with Randy and other members of the council, I think we've made it as palatable as it can be.
Yep. Okay. Well, the good news is that all this investment, there's a return on it. And
Yes.
we're not going in the red to get there, and the horizon is bright at this point, so very positive. All right. Well, thanks, Sue. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything else in clerk treasurers?
I have nothing else for you at this time.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it. Facade grants, I think what we'll do there is, just hold off on any further action. We'll continue to accept them, but recognize and appreciate that funding right now. We need to, take a deep breath and a timeout. Financial analysis, TIF projects, Chris and Dave, updates there. Do we have any updates on proposed expansion for our Route 41 corridor?
Yes,
Go ahead.
we are working on the documentation for TIF expansion for the Baltimore parcel, CLBD South LLC. I think they call it Lakeview.
Yeah.
That project. And we are informed of an adjacent parcel that is proposed to come into the town by annexation. It will be in similar fashion, or similar style. Chris has a lot of details about that, but generally speaking, that's the story. It's not a parcel yet in town. With regard to projects, I have begun drafting the TIF increment capture notification resolutions, which will need to be on your agenda next month, and I will alert you to that. Haven't yet decided if I'm going to do one or two. Remember, we have the consolidated 133rd TIF economic development area that we carved out a sub-allocation area in SBT LLC, but we no longer have any debt responsibilities out of the SBT LLC by virtue of the activities last year in our recovery of funds and elimination of debt service and financing payments. So I have talked to Attorney Casenda about that in terms of looking forward and what it means to connect those two or to treat them as one. Constructively, there is really no need for two, but there might be a need otherwise. So we're looking at all of that. We also are considering whether the Route 41 parcels should be separated into their own district for fairly obvious purposes, but not necessarily direct. Just assessing that at this point.
Okay.
I'd recommend that the activity report for the commission for last year be made a public record next month when the TIF increment capture resolutions are completed and presented to you for action consideration. Without over hyperbolizing it, we would be nuts if we didn't approve something of that nature, given everything we talked about. Kind of a ministerial act at this point, legislative. Final item I had pertains to our new park department. We have, at the town council level, adopted an ordinance reestablishing a park department here in our town and naming and seating park board members to that. They are looking for ways and means. By the way, a very motivated and mobilized group of citizenry. It's like coming here, there's life. Those folks are alive and excited about their tasks and their responsibility and charge. One of the things that they talked about was how to disseminate their activities as they begin developing, creating and holding and conducting those activities. I have recently suggested to them consideration of piggybacking onto the newsletter and monthly utility billings. The reason I mention it here, you're going to be a furrowed brow, Eric, I get it, is because they would be piggybacking if some methodology could be found on a newsletter that you pay for. So, just kind of an alert, there may be some collaboration sought and reached out for over the next few months as that, entity begins its process and its, activity level. You'll see activity in town as that goes on.
I think that's code for funding, so that we had an extra page.
Yeah.
Well, Bob will tell you there is no money. Yeah, in the park department.
Not so much piggyback, but like a koala bear here, a Joey in the pouch.
It's okay.
We'll find somewhere to consolidate, so we're not adding pages to it.
That's
I'm
right.
trying to be as soft as I could, but
Chris is good at brevity, he can shrink the verbiage.
You can write on the edges.
Footnotes.
anyway, that's what I had.
All right, good stuff. Any questions for Dave? Chris, any updates on your end, sir?
Now, I think Dave, touched on pretty much all of them.
Okay.
When's the groundbreaking on the,
Dewatering
site,
facility?
right?
As soon as we can get the deed of the property that
Oh,
we'll be
that's
breaking
right,
ground
that's
on.
right, okay.
We'd be trespassing.
We'd have a bigger rest party if it was
All right, good stuff. All right, anything else from the commission? No written communications? Mr. Carnahan, I see you are advocating for a Mr. Carnahan in your hat this evening.
Yeah,
For
that's
the
for
record,
me.
we'll make a notice. I said that, you didn't, so. Go ahead, anything from your end?
The Chamber's having their business showcase this Saturday, April 23rd, from 11 to 3. And hopefully they have a good turnout, because the last time temperatures reached the 80s, hardly any people came. They were out in their yards and stuff. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Anything else? Public comment, anything? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, John.
So we are adjourned. Thank you all.